because he'll tell me. Well, Clark, good evening and welcome back to the Tasting Bothy, mate. I hope you've had a good time, you and your good lady wife away.
It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while.
Well, it has. I mean, I thought the two of you had decided you weren't going to bother coming back. You were enjoying it so much.
Well, it was quite good right enough. It was quite good.
So here we are tonight. We're going to do 2 drams because we need to catch up for lost time. And the first one we're going to do, you picked this up, I believe, is that correct? When you went to visit the Port of Leith distillery, is that right?
Yes.
You did.
Absolutely.
And so this this is a table whiskey. I quite like the bottle of it, Clark, because it looks just like a wine. Yes, aye. For me, that just suggests you've got to drink the whole bottle at night like you would with a glass of wine. That's a kind of worrying thing for me.
Well, you should say that because this is a 6th bottle.
Excellent. So,
oh, very good.
So I did a wee bit of research as I normally do prior to coming on to the tasting bothy. And I believe that this table wine is the sommelier selection. It's a single grain whiskey as opposed to a malted barley, distilled in Edinburgh, and it's been matured in virgin oak casks. And then it looks like it's been finished in a sherry cask.
Finished in sherry cask, that's right. Virgin oak and sherry, that's right. Just writing that down.
So that's where we are with it. And am I right in saying it's a blended whiskey, or is it?
No, it says it's a single grain.
It's a single grain, right? Okay.
That's what it says.
I think what they mean by when they talk about it being blended is it's been in virgin oak casks and then in sherry casks. So that is where they've given that kind of blended in Leith, it says on the notes that I looked at earlier on. I am reliably informed, right, by a friend of mine, another friend who's into his whiskey, that this is delicious, reliable, approachable, and very rich. And you'll discover it's something that you want to share. So I presume that's why you sent it to me.
Yes. And I think we should, it's fine taking somebody else's word for it, but we should maybe just have a go ourselves.
Well, I think so. So, again, it's a lovely colour, a lovely autumn colour, Clark. Almost golden, I would say. A wee nose to this. Oh, wow. Now. Interesting on the nose. I think you'll know what I mean by saying when you say to somebody, it smells like whiskey. You know what I mean by that? Right? No, there's when you know some, you get the vanilla, you get the stuff, but this smells like whiskey.
It does. I think it smells like grapes. Green grapes is what it smells like.
Well, you know what I get?
Come on then.
There's a toffiness to it, which I suppose is coming from that virgin oak cask. But there's also a note of kind of raspberry. It actually reminds me a wee bit of the new make spirit from Tamdhu.
All right.
Tamdhu's got a raspberry note to it in its new make. And this has got kind of raspberry, toffee, and vanilla on the nose.
I see that, aye.
But there's also a furniture polishy type.
Yes. I was
note to it. It's not unpleasant. I mean, it's a lovely nose.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what it's like on the palate this evening.
And then let's do this. Cheers.
Slange. Hmm. Actually, that it's got an oiliness to it that I like. It's got a lovely creamy oiliness texture. That's the first thing I noticed. Forget about what I've got palate-wise and taste. It's that mouthfeel. I like that mouthfeel that you get from that. I can understand why you would call this like a table whiskey. It is like drinking a glass of wine that gives you that kind of note to it.
Yeah.
It's very sweet, Clark. I'm finding that sweetness here. The vanilla, it's really creamy and vanilla on my palate. Particularly the finish. Once you get that creaminess, but you're left with that cream right at the end.
It's like warm biscuits.
It's like yes. Aye.
Oh,
it's lovely.
That's it. I like that. I like the finish.
That's lovely. It doesn't dissipate on your tongue very quickly. It actually sits quite nicely on your tongue. It's like popcorn, Clark. That butter kiss that you get.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's really buttery and creamy. I can't go over that. I'm actually blown away with this. The raspberry on the nose I love because I do like the Tamdhu new make, and that gives me a lot of that. It's got that American cream soda type. That note to it. You know what American cream soda is? Oh, this could be interesting.
Yeah, that's just what it is. Cream soda. Good.
So the nose, I think, is a wee bit weak. I think the nose is a wee bit weak. I think the palate's excellent.
I'm losing you a wee bit on my reception here. I don't know what's going on.
And the finish, I think, is excellent as well. My overall impression is actually quite high on this.
I like the finish. I like it when you finish. I really like when you swallowed it.
So yes. So I don't know what a bottle of this actually costs, Clark. But I'm sure it's good value for money.
Somewhere between 30 and 40 quid, 30 something, I think.
See, but see, I think that's good value for money. I think this is honestly, if you get a chance to buy that, I don't know if I've never seen it anywhere, so I don't know if they just do it at Port of Leith or because I've never seen it in a shop anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you where else I saw it. I saw it at the is it London Lime Distillery? It's London Lime. Where's the other one? Could be London Lime Distillery in Leith as well. They've got because when you leave there, they give you a half of that along with a glass of sherry or port or something like that. That they use. Which is quite nice as well.
Well, that is nice. When I was reading the bottle, because I know that you sent me a picture over, I was reading the back of the bottle, and they talk about serving it with like a highball or using ginger ale. I think this would be nice with ginger ale in it.
Maybe, yeah.
Because it's got a wee hint of, it's that sweetness that's there, but there's a wee hint of kind of ginger in it. It reminds me of when you get like that ginger cake with the icing on the top of it, because you're getting that ginger with the sweetness. You know what I mean? I get all these things that go through my head. I must be. I don't know what it is. It makes me think of these things, but I visualize what I'm tasting, and I'm thinking, what am I tasting here? And that's what it's like.
Yes.
You get the sweetness of the icing, and you get a wee kick of ginger that comes in. Loads of vanilla.
Yeah.
Loads of vanilla. And again, that's coming from that virgin oak cask. It's lovely and creamy. It's a non-age statement, so I don't know what it's like. And to be honest, there's no many legs running down the glass here. It is quite sugary by the looks of it, but it's no. So it could actually be quite young, but it's nice. And I'm now getting that toffee even more as it went to the bottom of the glass.
I keep losing you from time to time. You keep freezing on me, so.
Oh, aye. Right, I've scored it. Oh, you've frozen. Let it go. I've lost you, Clark.
Oh, I'm back.
There you are. You're back. You're back. Stop kidding me on and sitting still and no moving. I think what happens is with your camera that's on your thing, if you're not moving about, your camera doesn't see it and therefore it doesn't pick you up. I don't know what you sitting going like this. So.
This is the furthest area away from the Wi-Fi box.
All right, I see.
It's just not a clever idea. Moving that box.
I hope that's not Caitlin's idea. Caitlin's idea to keep you as far away from the Wi-Fi as possible.
Well, that's the idea.
Yes. Nice, Dram. Have you scored it? Are you there?
Yes. I have. Right.
So this actually has come out for me as an 80. 8 out of 10.
Very good. Right, well, I've scored it a wee bit more than you. I've scored it an 87 because I like it.
Right.
So I've scored a wee bit. I absolutely love finish. I think the finish is just superb.
You know, I could probably come up to that, Clark, because I've actually scored the nose quite low when I first scored it. But I think the more I nose it now, the more I'm picking up, having had a wee taste of it, I could probably bring that up by another 7 points, to be honest with you. I could quite easily do that. The nose is nice. Ron's saying he's having difficulty hearing you, Clark, so you're quite quiet. So I don't know if you can get closer to the screen. Not that close. Sure. Come on, I can see you do well then.
Tablet tonight instead of my phone. I thought we'd try that for a change. And although it's nice, I can see you nice and big, but I'm not getting the same.
You sure that's an advantage? That you can see me, nice and big. Oh, really?
So I think I'm going to go back to my phone.
You're saying I've got a big head. Is that all you can see is my head on the screen?
Difficult here to decide which medium I want to use, you know.
Yeah. So yes, I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice wee jam. I'm not sure I'll be putting it on the table very often when folk come round right now because I'll maybe drink it. Unless it's you, of course.
Well, I was going to say, I better get round quick. So I think the comments that I'm coming back here is that the sound for yourselves very quiet. So we'll know the next time that we need to either amplify the sound some way, where you can either stick something into your pewter, your iPad or whatever your thing me to do that, or we go back to the phone, or we find another way to do it.
I'm having difficulty. My laptop didn't help it. That was just giving me all sorts of bother as well. So I maybe just need to go back to the phone. It was the most successful, but the problem is it's just such a wee screen. Anyway, I can see you're enjoying this just as much as me because you're not putting it down till you've finished it.
The reason I didn't need to worry, Clark, is because you gave me enough. I've got another dram here. So,
so you have. Good. I'm pleased about that.
Ron's offering to sort your laptop for you.
Oh.
What I'm saying to you, he says, if it's at the laptops, he says, I'll fix it if it's not working to get the sound working.
The problem with the laptop isn't the sound. The problem with the laptop is trying to get it to work at all.
Connect to, aye, I know. It's getting you onto Google rather than onto, it wants to connect. When you click on your link, it wants to take you somewhere else. I know. Unless we can set up the default on your laptop for Google, then that would be the best way for it. Anyway, I'm going to put it down, Clark. I'm going to leave that wee bit there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what's left, and I'm going to replenish my glass. You gave me an awful lot of that, Clark. Thanks very much. That was really good of you, because I've got a full dram again.
Really?
Right. So I've got 2 drams out of that. That's the best share inside that we've got. Anthony's joined us tonight. Mr. Sillett, I'm going to be in Nantwich next Wednesday and Thursday. I know you're down that way, so if you're in about, pal, and you want to pop in for a wee ale and a dram, we'll maybe even catch up. I'll get details later on and we can sort that out. That would be good, Anthony, if you're up for that. And now, let me change your wee banner, Clark, because we are going to have the Benromach triple distilled dram.
I need to write this in my book.
Now, you know that this is one of my favourite distilleries. I just love Benromach. And this is slightly off-piste for them a wee bit, because normally Benromach only double distill. That's the normal way of doing it. So they've only got 2 stills. So the first distillation is done in the wash still, and the second and third distillation is done in the spirit still. So that's how they triple distill this. So the first lot goes through, and then it goes through another twice, and that's where we get it for. This is the second time that they've done a triple distilled. So this is the 2011 triple distilled, bottled in 2022.
So that make it 10-year-old?
Pardon?
Does that make it 10-year-old or 11-year-old?
Yes. Unusual.
Don't tell me.
But they really class it as a non-age statement, don't they? They've not got any on it. As age, we know where it was.
Right, well, you've told me nothing about this at all, so you'll need to tell me a few things about it. You'll need to tell me what the volume is.
46% ABV.
Right.
And it's been matured in a bourbon cask.
All right.
I have the box here. This is part of the range, the contrast range, which I've got almost the full set of. I just love it. I think Benromach, it grew on me very, very quickly. It was one of the first drams that I tasted, and it was like, oh wow. And one of the things I like about the Benromach is that it's got that peaty smoke. Although it's a Speyside malt, it's got a peaty smoke to it, and which I just love. I think it's phenomenal. And you would normally look at triple distilled to have that fruity floral influence that you get from triple distilled whiskies, and the first thing you get when you nose that is peat.
It is, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Well, I don't want to be sort of it smells to me a wee bit like the farmer's field where he's been spraying slurry on
it. Well, I'm pleased to tell you that it's no. All right, but I know, I get that. You think it smells like slurry, and I think part of that is when we look at the the distillation process, you know, there's the kind of there's four kind of areas that you look at from that, and so obviously most triple distilled, we're looking at the esters for that fruitiness that comes from it, and we're not going to get much of the acids. And I'm sure that the way they triple distill this then brings off, you know, that peatiness that we're looking for that would come from the phenols. So I think when we look at the triple distillation, you've got phenols, you've got the esters, you've got the acids, and you've got the ethanol at the end. That's the kind of four main areas that come off from that distillation process. And this one here, I think, is coming off with the phenols as a predominant to it. Hence the reason why it's picking up that smokiness. But once you can get through that and take your time to do it,
I've lost the
and I'm going to say to you,
I'm pleased to say
I've again?
Lost that. I said I'm pleased to say I've lost that slurry smell now. It's not the
yes,
it was only the
you will.
It's actually gone now.
And what I'm going to say is, if you open your mouth and breathe it in, and let that get in, you'll then begin to pick up a wee bit banana in there. It's quite amazing. It sits right at the back here. Wee bit of banana that comes in.
Right, I'm getting that now.
And a wee drop of pears. And a wee drop of pears. So I get the pears and the banana, but that first hint of peat hits you. You can't help that.
You can't help it, no.
And then you get that wee bit of zestiness of citrus that sits right at the very back. It's for me, honestly, there's so much going on. It's quite complex, I think, in this, and it takes you a wee while to get to it. So, Slange, and let's have a wee mouthful.
Have a taste. Cheers.
This is slightly different from the other Benromachs that I like, in the fact that it's not quite as oily in the mouth as the others are. This is a lot kind of lighter on your palate when you get it.
It's quite peaty on the finish.
You've got that
quite smoky finish.
Ashy. They've got that ashy smokiness on your palate. Yes, you get that on the palate as well. And the other thing you get a hint of, for me anyway, is like white pepper. You get that white pepper. It's because it's quite spicy. There's a wee bit of heat that sits on your tongue, but it feels like that kind of white pepper that you get rather than black pepper on it. It's a lot lighter than that. With it being triple distilled, there's that fruitiness that sits here as well. I get apples in there, a wee bit of peach on my palate. And maybe even a wee bit of kind of lemon curdish.
It's nice. It's very light, very light. You're right, it is.
Because it's coming for that bourbon cask, it's giving you all that flavour that we're getting, all that lightness that's there, all that fruitiness that's there, coming for that bourbon cask.
It's nice.
I think the finish just a wee bit short. Doesn't linger on. It's quite salty, Clark.
Yes.
It's quite salty, the finish. Kind of briny.
You kind of, that's right. You want a beer with this one, don't you?
There's a wee bit of woodiness as well at that finish. And then you've got that typical Benromach smokiness that just sits in your mouth. It's no overpowering.
No, it is not. No. Yeah.
If you were looking to introduce somebody to a smoky dram,
this would be
that's a cracker.
It's very gentle. It's a very gentle.
It is. It is.
There's nothing harsh or unpleasant about it. It's just nice.
But the strange thing is, and I'm going to say this is, I liked the table whiskey as much as I like this, but for two different reasons. You know what I mean?
That's a weird thing for you to hear you say when talking about Benromach.
Yeah, I know. But this is the thing is, the whole party is doing the tasting, Bothy. It's been about honesty about where we are and sharing about why I like a dram. The table whiskey I like for a completely different reason.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I just loved that whole sweetness that was in that. I just really enjoyed that. I thought it was great. It had different other textures and tones compared to this one, but you know, I think I've actually scored them both the same. I've come up to an 87. I agree with you because I like the noses we got there, but I've actually scored this an 87 too, but for a completely different reason altogether. Because I really like that. The nose is light on it. That peaty smoke. Once you get past that, now I'm picking up the peaches, the pears, the banana, that zestiness on my nose, which I didn't get at that first initial hit. I think sometimes you've got to taste it and then it really picks it up. And then when I get into the tasting of it, it's become a lot more creamy in my mouth. That lemony peel appleiness that I get from it, fruitiness, and a wee bit of cream that's sitting there that's coming from that bourbon cask. Because the bourbon cask, the bourbon's got to go into a virgin oak cask, and then it comes from that virgin oak cask into what we're using here. So the influence of the bourbon's coming through, but also the influence of the American oak cask, the Quercus alba, is coming through as well with that wee bit of vanilla in it.
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
Yeah. That's a nice dram. I could have scored this 1 point higher or a couple of points. I maybe changed my mind. But no, I like them both the same, but for different reasons, Clark. All truth being told. I very, very slightly prefer the table whiskey, but it's very good. So I've scored this in 86, but I've scored the table whiskey in 87, right? So
yeah.
But that is a nice dram.
This one's a lot lighter, and I think that's why you've scored the table whiskey, because the table whiskey's got a better mouthfeel than this has. This is quite light in the way that it is in the mouth.
But that's a couple of good drams we've had tonight. These will be nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's great that we've had two drams, one that's got a kind of smoky peaty influence, which is just as well we did the other one first. And then, you know, and then you've got that. I think they're two lovely drams. A Benromach will come in about 49, 50 quid for one of these contrasts. I quite like the contrast range that they've got, and I've been building them in my collection, probably for the last 3 years maybe. I've been building different ones in to the collection. We've got a few more up here that we'll need to have a go. I've got a sherry cask. I've got the actual peaty cask one. So, well, I've probably decided that I'm going to open them. I was going to keep them on. I thought, nah, I'm going to open them and have a wee dram out of them. And so we'll taste the rest of them. Our life's too short. It's never going to get to a stage where I think that they're going to be worth a huge amount of money. So why would I keep it? But I am going to get up and I'm going to show you something.
In anticipation of this. Oh, I remember that. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So
I've had a few of those in my days, and I've drank them all.
yeah, well, there was one came up at auction the other day, and I made a wee bid, and I secured it for a lot less than I thought it was going to cost me.
Ooh, there you go.
So it's now there. I'm trying to see if I can find another one now that would go there. But yes, very nice. Quite excited that I've added that to my collection. I don't know whether I'll open it or not. I didn't need to open it because I've tasted it. I can't exactly what a flora fauna tastes like. So
and my father was quite keen on that. He liked those, and I've tasted a number of his as well. So I'm a fair idea what that tastes like.
Yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I think that might be that'll be a one for Ari, my grandson. So I think it'll go there at some point. But I'm looking to see if I can get maybe the 21 or a 25-year-old, see what the next one is that can actually go in there. I'd like to try and pick up the 3 of them. You think I should be able to get them because I work for the place, but it's not quite as easy as that. Didn't sell them there. So. But we'll see. But so you've scored this one in 86, you scored the other one in 87. And that's it. So Ron says your dad was keen on a toilet duck too. LOL. Is
that right, Ted?
So, and Anthony thinks that I should open it because the neck level's dropping. What I'm actually going to do is make sure that we get it on its side, so I can make sure the cork is not going to, because a lot of the issues we've had is corks breaking because they've been sitting for far too long, and it being normal cork, just the same as you can get cork a bottle, if it's not been sitting on its side. So I'm going to sit it on its side and let the whiskey sit, and I'm wondering if that's, I don't know where it's been stored prior to it, and it might be that it has been lying on its side, and hence the reason why some of that is souped into the cork. So I'll need to soup the cork when I take it out and check it, but I've not got any plans to open it just yet, so we'll see where it goes. But anyway, Clark, that's us. We've been in the tasting body for half an hour. We've had a few drams. Well, I'll say flange to you. We'll finish this one, and then I'm going to partake in your table whiskey again. So, Ron, Anthony, Gordon, thanks very much for joining us tonight, spending some time with us. Hopefully, I'll get in touch, Anthony. I'll ping you a message or something. And as I said, I'm down next week. You mentioned about going to Wheatwood. I've been to Wheatwood, and I've come back with the Cheshire whiskey. Fabulous distillery. I don't know Henston, so I'll need to see if I can find where Henston distillery is. You're saying it's nearest to Nantwich. That could be a wee trip for me to try and find it when I'm there. In fact, Clark and I are both coming down to Chester to a wedding in the summer.
Yeah.
So a wee trip to the Wheatwood might be an idea for us, Clark, if we can manage that while we're there, or the Henston, whichever one's closest.
The wives to do that.
Well, I'm sure we can organise something, and Jennifer will drive us there and back. Did I just volunteer my wife to do something for me? I'm not sure I did.
Sounds like it. You're a braver man than me, that's what I can say.
Aye, but that's because I'm here in the bothy, and she's not here for us to do it. Enjoy your night, Anthony. Good night. We'll catch you later. From us in the tasting bothy, another great time. Slange of all.
Cheers.